On.
Hi, kids. It's Mr. Larry, and I've got another story for you. This one is a kind of a wintry story, and it's kind of a scary story at first. Don't be scared. It's called Are You a Polar Bear? And the author, the person who wrote this book, is Andrew R. Gabriel. The illustrator, the person who made the pretty pictures, is Catherine Suvorova. Wow, what a nice name. Okay, are you ready? Let's read together. Are you a polar bear? A polar bear cub who had been sleeping peacefully in his quiet den woke up from his long nap and let out a big yawn. Oh, makes me yawn too. The cub dug out from his den that was packed tight with snow. It was very quiet. No one was around. Where is everyone? Where is my mom? The cub sat outside his home and thought. He tried to remember what his mommy looked like. What do I look like? He tried to recall. Oh, poor little guy. Don't be scared, it gets better. Though he had forgotten what his mother looked like, he set out to find her. I must be brave, he said, looking back at his den. Good luck, little guy. He walked into the forest with snow-covered trees. On an old branch high above, the cub saw someone sleeping. Are you a polar bear? He asked. Young cub, I'm not a polar bear. I'm a snowy owl. The owl lifted his wing and replied, You see, I have feathers, not fur. The cub moved through the forest, searching for his mother. He saw a white, fluffy tail wriggling on a furry bottom inside a log. Are you a polar bear? He asked. The fluffy tail turned around and popped out of the log. I'm not a polar bear. I'm an Arctic hare. That's another word for a rabbit. I'm an Arctic hare. I have much bigger ears than you, the hare replied. Outside of the forest, the cub saw someone sitting on a rock with fur and a small nose. Are you a polar bear? He asked. Little one, I'm an Arctic fox. You are clever, but I have a much larger tail, and you will grow up to be much bigger than me, the fox replied. The cub walked on until he saw someone sitting on an icy ridge above him. Are you a polar bear? He asked. No, I'm an Arctic wolf. Your paws will grow to be much bigger than mine. But you are very brave for asking, replied the wolf. Good for you, little guy. The cub moved down the ridge and onto the snowy field. Someone was chewing on a frosty bush. Are you a polar bear? He asked. The animal chewed loudly. I'm a reindeer. I have big antlers, and I don't think you eat plants like I do, the reindeer replied. The cub continued to walk until he came to a hole in the ice. Wow, did he ever look at that? Wow. A big spirally horn moved up and down. Are you a polar bear? He asked. No, I'm not. I'm a narwhal. I have a long tusk and I don't walk on land, replied the narwhal. Hey kids, there really are creatures like this. Look this one up sometime and read all about it and see all of the pictures. Wow. But anyway, on to the next page. The cub walked on until he met a very large someone lying on a mound of ice. He carefully walked forward. Are you a polar bear? He asked. No, I am a walrus. I'm much larger than you and have very big tusks, Wow, I'll say he does. Look at that. Go back home, little cub. Little cubs belong with their mothers, said the walrus. Well, yeah, wouldn't he like to? I can't go home until I find my mother, he said. He was very sad and scared because he didn't know how he was going to find her, and it was getting dark. The harsh wind blew, and the snow whipped at his fur. The cub could not see anything. Oh. With a loud crack, the ice broke around the cub. He held on tight as the storm pushed him out to sea. Help! He called. I would too. Soon, look at that. What's that? Oh boy. The wind soon stopped and the waves calmed. The tired little cub looked around. He saw a shape floating nearby. It was large, white, had fur, small ears, and a little tail. It didn't have any horns or a tusk. Are you a polar bear? He asked. Are you my mother? He asked. What do you think? I am a polar bear, and I am your mother, his mom replied. Little cub, you are very special. There was no one out there quite like you. I know, he replied as he snuggled in closer to his polar bear mommy. That's the way polar bears live up there on the ice. They can float on pieces of ice at sea. Doesn't bother them a bit. And they can go into their den if they want to. I'm glad they found each other again. Hey, and look up in the sky. We call that constellation the Big Dipper, but it has another name, Ursa Major, which is Latin. That's an old language that scientists use, and other people too sometimes. Ursa Major means the Great Bear. And a long time ago, ancient people looked into the sky and saw that this set of stars would be there every night when the clouds weren't covering it. And so they said, we'll name that. And they called it the Big Bear. Nowadays, we call it the Big Dipper. And it's always up there towards the north. Well, that's our story for today, kids. I hope you weren't too scared at the start. And I'll bet you're feeling really glad now that the little cub found his mommy. They'll be fine. And so will you. You take really good care. Study hard, play hard, have lots of fun, and be very nice to everybody. And then we'll see you next time, okay? Come for another story. Peace. Bye-bye.